Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk Bourbon. I'm John.
I'm James.
And this is Let's Talk Bourbon.
Well, we're talking bourbon barrels at least, but we're talking bourbon barrel aged
Tequila edition.
So, a couple rules around tequila. Tequila is a native spirit to Mexico. It can only be made in Mexico. Can't be made
in Mexico.
Yes, only in Mexico. First rule of Fight Club. No, sorry.
Okay.
No, first rule of tequila. If it doesn't say 100% either blue agave or agave on it, don't drink it. You can have what they call a mixto, which can be 51% agave, but then it's 49% neutral grain spirits.
Other stuff. So mixto is a no-go.
No, if it says made with agave, please just don't bother. Spend $3 more, get something that says 100% pure blue agave or agave. That's the kind of stuff that you shoot and you feel awful the next day. Just
hangovers.
Oh, they're awful.
Not good.
No, bad stuff.
So James, for us bourbon purists, what the heck's an agave?
Agave is a plant that's grown in Mexico. I did a great episode on it on a channel I had before talking about just tequila, but ran out of time in tequilas. Awful thing. But it's not it's more of a member of the aloe family, but the best way to illustrate what it looks like is kind of the bottom half of a pineapple. But it's got all these spikes growing out of it, and it grows all over Mexico, but for it to be tequila, it's got to be blue agave. It's the only agave they use. And it's good. It's not a grain. So when I hear people say, oh, I get crazy on tequila, which is kind of funny because none of these are over 80%. And you've seen
80 proof, yeah.
Yeah, you've seen our episodes, and we got out the hazmat once, and that was at 140 proof.
So maybe they just don't like plants, James.
I think it's because it's not a grain. It's a different kind of plant. Still, same rules apply. You gotta cook it to loosen up the sugars, and you gotta shred it and ferment it. Then you distill it. Same idea, just the base product's a little different.
So they steam the plant, sugar happens, and by sugar you get alcohol.
And you add yeast, and yeast do that magic that they do. Then you refine it and make some alcohol.
So I got to tell you guys, before I met James, I was not a huge tequila guy. I, had my run-in with Cuervo in college. I thought tequila made great margaritas. I even had some Patron Silver. And, for me, I always had to shoot the stuff. I just wasn't a huge fan. And I don't really like clear spirits in the sense that they don't generally have a whole lot of flavor. And that's what they go for. That's the whole purpose of that. And so for me, when James introduced me to Bourbon Barrel Aged Tequila, it really kind of brought me back and had a tether to something I'm familiar with and I like bourbon. And I was able to actually find something I could sip on. So for those of you out there that are saying, why the heck would I consider tequila? I challenge you in this regard because tequila actually aged in bourbon barrels can be pretty good, and it's easier to sip. Much easier to sip than you'd think.
Especially on what are we going through, a minor heat wave where it's, you could swim through the weather and it's 90 degrees every day. I mean,
it's a great spring, summer, early fall kind of drink.
We'll still sip on bourbon, but, if I
could... Not the heavy bourbon.
Not the heavy bourbon. So, odds are all tequila that you see that says reposado or añejo was spent probably sometime in a used bourbon barrel. But these are a little different because they're actually single barrel picks, so they do a single barrel program in Mexico too. And these are actually source barrels, so we know where the
barrel came from.
Was in there before.
Yeah.
We'll start with a reposado. A reposado means rested, so it's sat in a barrel for 3 to 6 months. It's lighter in color than bourbon. Couple things on that. It's 3 to 6 months, and it's a used barrel. Bourbon's already had the first crack at it.
So same thing. It starts out as a clear spirit, goes in the barrel. For that amount of time, you're not getting a whole lot of color, but you're also getting less color because when it's a bourbon barrel, it actually loses most of its color out of that barrel into bourbon within that first 4-year time frame, which most bourbon is aged at least that long, so you're not getting a whole lot out of it. So in that sense, you know, just think about that when you're looking at the color. You may see other gold-looking tequilas out there, but it's not the same, right?
No, gold tequila is a cheat because, you know, it is called the, you know, liquor business, and if there's a way they can make a dollar, they will. So chemically, they're trying to achieve that pretty color without a barrel. And as we've known with the reason why we've had bottled and bond, rectifiers figured out all sorts of fun ways to get that color without a barrel, including tobacco. Now they're not doing anything that awful. It's probably just caramel coloring, and once again, that's stuff that makes you not feel so good the next day.
Mixed-o,
Yeah,
no-go.
No-go.
All right.
So,
Knob Creek barrel?
Knob Creek barrel. So this is a Liquor Barn single barrel pick. It is the Hercules. And funny, I actually got the Añejo before, but I've enjoyed so much more of this. It's been really nice.
James is challenging me on this because I'm not, as you know, the Knob Creek fanboy, but nonetheless, maybe it's good with tequila, I don't know.
It's got a great nose. See, with Reposado versus an Añejo, it's shorter time period, so you get more still of that peppery finish. You get more of those true agave flavors.
It's a little minty.
Yeah, but it's just kind of more mellowed.
It's almost like a mint julep.
Yeah, there you go. Oh gosh, can you imagine pouring this over ice on a hot summer day?
Right?
Yeah, this and ice and a little mint. Maybe in a hint of simple syrup just to even it out.
It's not bad.
For Knob Creek.
For Knob Creek.
So Patron, there are a lot of haters on Patron. They might have an argument, but I kind of challenge them on one thing. If you go to a tequila aisle, you're not going to see half the aisle here in the Americas without Patron, because they kind of did the tequila what Starbucks did to coffee. Really introduced people between them and like Sammy Hagar with Cabo Wabo and some names that got really behind it. Tequila is not the stuff you drink on spring break that make you feel awful the next day. You can really sip and enjoy it. The problem with Patron is it's kind of like Starbucks, where it's
The brand.
the brand. It's just, you're always going to get a great product. It's just sometimes they're not as outstanding as they could be.
So James, this is in an Añejo barrel, which you said that's longer, right? So it ages longer.
Yep, it's at least a year.
Versus that one, but they're similar in color.
Still with that used barrel.
Yeah.
And you're only talking 6 months. 6 months in the max. Now there is extra Añejo, which is going to be even darker. That's going to look a lot like a young bourbon, but that's usually 3 years plus. You can start getting to hefty price tags on those.
Man, I like that one.
Yeah.
That one's
Earthier.
earthier for sure. So is that must be the plant shining through with the barrel?
Plant
Nature
barrel.
at its finest, folks.
Yep. Going in and out, borrowing some of those wood sugars, some of the flavors that the rye left. Once again, Knob Creek, rye is the second ingredient, so you're going to probably get more earthy flavors for a second crack at that barrel. It's quite nice. This one, I still wouldn't, but you could put in a mixed drink. Once you get Añejo, that's really your sipping tequila. You can, I mean,
Smooth,
it's your money.
easy sipper.
Do what you want to do with it.
The first one had a little bit of a Mexican hug on it. If we can say that. I think that makes sense because we say Kentucky hug for bourbon.
Why not? Yep.
But the second one...
Spanish squeeze.
Oh, gosh.
It's got a
Going there.
Spanish squeeze.
Okay.
Why not?
All right. Chad and Sarah, don't steal that from us, okay? But, so this one, I think it doesn't have too much of a burn. Good flavor, easy to sip.
I think when you get to Añejo, it doesn't eliminate the agave and the salt and the pepper you get. It just kind of rounds it, and instead of a cubist painting, it makes it more of an impressionist, where it just kind of mellows the edges.
You're challenging my art history now. Okay. All right. Well, So tell me about this Corazon.
Corazon is owned by Sazerac. And if you know anything about Sazerac, the 800-pound gorilla that they are, because they make some of the best products that everybody wants, i.e. Weller, Blantons, Pappy's.
Let's just say it, man.
Yeah.
Winkle.
Yeah, Pappy. So, Corazon, and they for a while had the vertical for the VTEC series, where if you could find the anejo in those, and they're amazing, they're gorgeous, they're hard to find, and they're not quite Pappy price level, but they're pretty close. So this one's actually done in a Weller bottle, so it's a weeder. This is a total wine pick. I think I was on this because when I first started, they brought a bunch of samples, but it took forever for us to get it in. So I don't know if this is,
Import process.
it could be.
And I gotta tell you, it
Sazerac.
makes a lot of sense for Sazerac to do this because to own a tequila company, you can literally use their bourbon barrels, and by way of vertical integration, they can just send them down and move them from one destination to the next, and that also boosts probably their tequila brand or brings in people like us, bourbon drinkers, that would maybe not normally want to go there, but if we say, hey, it's aged in a Weller barrel, I got to give it a try.
Can't get Weller, so we'll at least try a tequila aged in it and see
Right.
how that happens.
Kiss a Weller.
Yeah. And this is outstanding. I've had.
It's a light.
Yes, and this is the one, as we've discussed with Weller before, and we'll get to the last one here in a second, but this is the only weeder of the bunch. All have rye as their second ingredient, so this one's going to have a different flavor coming from that barrel because this is different second grain.
Subtler.
And you get that on the nose. It's a whole lot lighter. You still get that agave, but the
That's
pepper is
dangerous.
so much mellower.
It's like buttery.
Oh yeah, it's such a light. It's a light touch. It's just
That's dangerous.
yeah. You get
There's no burn whatsoever.
no. And these are all still 80 proof, so once again, everyone who says tequila makes me crazy, proof is lower.
And again, I challenge you because I remember drinking Patron Silver or Cuervo. There's definitely so much burn in that. There is literally no burn, in my opinion, on this.
It's at least
At all.
So it's sat at least a year in a used Weller barrel. Odds are all the tequila you get that says Reposado or Anejo is spent sometime in a bourbon barrel. Just we have to send them somewhere.
So that's the standard, mostly bourbon barrels?
Mostly bourbon. Why would they send Scotch across the sea?
Yeah. It's already been here once.
Maybe some port, maybe some sherry, but odds are it's going to be a used whiskey or bourbon barrel. But yeah, this, see, you can just sip this right down and not even know about it and get you in trouble.
It's butter water. Not water. It's good. I mean, it's really light, easy to drink for sure.
It doesn't give you a full mouthfeel though. If that's my only knock, and I've had this for a little while. My only knock is it's not got enough, but that's what people say about Weller, especially Special Reserve. How many people would say there's just not enough there for them to really enjoy it? So if it wasn't a Special Reserve barrel, it might make sense it would transfer over the tequila.
So this one's exciting because I picked this up for James at Liquor Mart. He's never had it before, neither have I, and it is it's aged in a Blanton's barrel, so that's different than a Weller. It's rye recipe.
Ancient age recipe, right?
Ancient age, and Ancient age is Elmer T. Lee and Rock Hill Farms and Blanton's. So let's give it a try.
Let's definitely crack that open. Good cork pop on that.
Ooh.
I hope Liquor Mart got to, because I feel comfortable Liquor Barn didn't get to go down to, and I know I didn't to Total actually go down and tour and pick it out, so I hope they did.
It's a cool looking cork.
Yeah. Have you ever known Sazerac to do anything bad on packaging?
No.
No, never. So it would make sense.
They know what they're doing. Is that what you're telling me?
And then metals are really cool too, because on one side it has who picked it, and the other side says, Blanton.
It's like a little Indiana Jones lasso. You can kind of lasso your Blanton's horses. That's what they're going for, guys. I'm telling you, there's a code that we're gonna crack. Or moose if you go with the Caribou Crossing. Watch that episode that we
that
did.
was fun. I miss the maple leaf though, because I've seen some of the pictures of the older Caribou Crossing that had a maple leaf, but moose makes more sense with the tie-in with, since it's a single barrel Canadian, they're kind of harking back.
They just like to do stuff with animals.
They're smart.
And ropes and metals. Okay.
God,
anyway.
His nose has got more heft.
Yeah, that's, wow.
I think the bourbon shines through.
That smells kind of like Blanton's. I'm not joking. It really does.
Very light. If, heaven forbid, anyone did Blanton's on ice, and it's your bourbon, you do what you want with it. But if someone iced Blanton's for a little while and you sniffed it,
I used to do that all the time when you could find it.
yeah, it's
Holy
yours.
cow. That's good.
That's got the mouthfeel is a whole lot more home to that. There's more.
I taste a little bit of that mash bill in there. I mean, I'm a big fan of this mash bill, but I'm not kidding. I think I taste a little bit of this mash bill in this.
This is the clear winner out of this bunch, which, once again, none of these are bad, and odds are if you see.
So this is your favorite too.
Oh, out of this bunch, yeah.
And you've never had this before.
No. Oh. 2. Not by much, 2, but you know, obviously that's not going to be your 2. That's Knob Creek, so you can't rate that too high.
Well, you know, it's pretty good
Yeah.
because they got most of the Knob Creek out of there. So, you know.
You just got the tequila flavors to
Right.
it too.
The caramel, it was the wood, it wasn't the Knob Creek.
And
but
this was actually the first true sourced single barrel that I got, so it was, you know, gonna always have a special place in your heart.
this is
But
this
boy,
is
it's so
definitely
nice.
my favorite. I think it's really, really good. Again, easy to drink, no burn.
Wonderful legs. I mean, they're just coating that glass. Just outstanding. I challenge.
Great mouthfeel,
I
a little bit
guarantee,
of pepper.
I guarantee you, bourbon drinkers who say they don't like tequila, will have this and they'd be all over it.
Yeah, give it a try. You know, honestly, again, this is a good exercise to rethink, you know, sometimes other options. And if you like bourbon, why not try Bourbon Barrel Aged Tequila? And if you know that it's a quality product, you know, so what's the spend range on this? I know everybody's dying to know.
What did we pick that up for?
55 maybe? 50?
These two were in the $50 to $60 range.
Not bad. I mean, it's the cost of a bourbon bottle.
Yeah.
Normally off the shelf.
It's Patron, so Patron's always higher. If I remember right, this was like 60 and 70, so they're
Add 20% for branding.
and
Still not bad.
No, I mean, it is beautiful glass and
Nothing compared to like a finished Scotch.
No, oh gosh, no. That's the other side. What they send the barrels, so either down to Mexico to finish it, or over to Ireland and Scotland to finish it. But wow,
This is great. So guys, we would love to know what maybe bourbon barrel aged tequilas you've tried. If you've got any recommendations for us, we're all for it. If you've had these, you know, comment below. Let us know what you think. We're always open to learning more about bourbon barrel aged, or at least I am. This is the master about that.
oh
But
gosh, there's so many. You could just scratch the surface, because my employer, I have several people come in who look at the tequila aisle who are on the other side of the border and tell me about things they got down there that we still can't get up here. So I mean, they're smart. They keep the best stuff down there.
a lot of options.
Oh, a lot of options. So scratch the surface, but so much more to learn. And if you know any special, you know, not to steal the unicorn term, but special unicorns that we ought to try, we'd love to find out about it.
And I actually did have a Pappy bourbon barrel aged Pappy finished tequila, and it was really good.
They're outstanding. I mean,
Yeah.
Believe it or not, Whiskey Bear, I know they at least have the Buffalo Trace finished one. So there is, Sazerac did put out a whole VTAC series if you can find it. Pour is on the expensive side, but once again, they're VTAC finished, so they tend to...
B-Tac all day. Let's do it. All right, guys. Well, as always, we appreciate you watching. If you like what you see, we've got a little icon above. Please subscribe. That helps us out and allows us to make more content for you. we've got other videos out there, so feel free to watch those, especially the Caribou one if you want to
go back
see that
and
one.
visit the moose.
Caribou Canadian whiskey, which is made by Sazerac, and it kind of looks like it's in a Rock Hill bottle
With a Blanton's top, but it's a moose.
There you go.
Moose.
So why wouldn't you want to watch that? But we appreciate you guys. Again, I'm John.
I'm James.
And this is Let's Talk Bourbon Tequila Edition.
Amen. Barrel aged, at least.
Thanks for watching,
Drink
guys.
more.
Cheers.